Welcome back. In our last video, we concluded on the expectations of SGB members. As you're now aware, there is a code of conduct required to be signed off by every SGB. This code contains the behavior standards that will govern the interaction of SGB members amongst themselves, but also in relation to the stakeholders that they serve. We do, though, find that whilst the majority of SGB members happily abide by that code or standard, there are SGB members who find signing off a code is easy, implementing the code and moderating their own behavior in terms of meeting the standards of that code becomes slightly challenging. So in this video, we're going to look at how you deal with, as an SGB, with inappropriate conduct. We will firstly identify some indicators that highlight inappropriate conduct, and then go into a process of explaining how you deal with that code of conduct breach. So what is inappropriate conduct? Let me first remind you that each member of the SGB has a responsibility to maintain an environment where conflict and difference can be addressed in a manner characterized by respect and by civility. No member of an SGB should accept, condone, or ignore inappropriate conduct by any member of the governing body. So what is a breach of the code, and what are some of the things that give you an indication that a breach has occurred? The first is that an SGB member, while fulfilling his or her duties, acts in a way that is no longer acceptable in terms of the SGB's code of conduct, and as a consequence may have to face disciplinary action. A further breach indicator is an SGB member who continuously transgresses the stipulations of the code and feels no obligation to honor these standards that have been signed off. Another transgression of the code of conduct is when an SGB member breaks a law which directly links with his or her membership of the SGB, or in any way disadvantages the school or the SGB, or brings the institution into disrepute. A further indicator is where an SGB member consistently acts in a way that has a detrimental effect on the functioning and effectiveness of the SGB, and is therefore guilty of a breach of the code of conduct and could have his or her membership suspended or terminated. There are, of course, other types of breaches too. So there are breaches of a criminal nature. What is this? The SGB may request the South African Police Services to investigate and, if necessary, prosecute any alleged criminal offences committed by a member that is directly related to the performance of his or her duties on the SGB. Even when a matter is handed over to the South African Police Services, this does not exonerate the SGB from instituting, in terms of its constitution, disciplinary steps against an SGB member, especially where serious cases may lead to suspension or termination of membership if required. There are also financial mismanagement breaches. All complaints regarding maladministration or mismanagement of financial matters must be reported to the SGB and handed to the head of education for further investigation if required. So we've touched on a few of the issues that highlight breaches of the code of conduct and the potential consequences for a member. So let's assume you've identified such a breach and you wish to take that process further. What do you do? And so in this last element of this video, we will touch on due process. It's an important consideration and must be taken very seriously in terms of its execution. So what are the elements you have to pay attention to? Understand that due process must be followed in all cases of corrective measures and or disciplinary proceedings. What does this mean further? All procedures should also be fair and unbiased and must include the following. 1. The right to be informed and receive particulars of the complaint. B. The opportunity to be heard. C. The right to representation. D. The right to be heard by impartial persons. E. The right to be treated with dignity and respect. And F. The right to be informed in writing of the decision and or sanction. And G. The right to appeal. Every SGB member who is being considered for misconduct must be afforded this due process. Should you fail to do so, you are undermining the very process that is meant to bring correction in terms of the SGB's Code of Conduct. In our next video, we will further expand on this process and how you deal with a disciplinary process when implemented against an SGB member who has made him or herself potentially guilty of misconduct in terms of your Code of Conduct. Till the next time, we again ask you to please subscribe to our channel on YouTube and also to press the notification icon so that you receive alerts when we upload new videos in this series. We thank you for watching, we thank you for your feedback, and we hope to see you soon.